Welcome to Beginner's Guide for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Usually in these types of compilation videos I don't cover basic things, but in this case I'll have to add those two next to advanced stuff, because Wuchang does things in a similar way to many other Souls-likes, but due to different terminology and approach it can be quite confusing to understand at first. So let's get started, you feathery bastards. First let's explain Enter the Dream. In short, translate this as rest, where enemies respawn and items are refilled. This option confused me for quite a bit until I've actually used the bloody thing and figured it's just rest option. Also, by entering the dream, NPC storylines progress. That usually happens after defeating a boss and unlocking new area. It's easy to see where the new NPC locations are because there's an icon next to the fast travel location, which indicates that somewhere in that area there's an NPC whose quest can progress. In the same area where NPC is, there is also usually an item that continues the quest or that expands inventory of the two merchants. I love this transparent NPC quest system because it's much easier to follow. Skill tree could also be confusing at first, so I'll explain how it works and what to focus on. Left side can be considered utility or general skills. This is where we upgrade the amount of healing potions, their strength, unlock temper options, improve spells and such. It's basically a must-have part of the skill tree. Gradually increase this side to unlock all of those options, but don't unlock every option. Only the ones you need for the build. Respec is free, can be done at any time, and it doesn't have to be the whole tree every time, but only connecting points. Another thing to add to every build are +5 attribute nodes from weapon trees you're not using. X, +5 vitality and +5 endurance is a must for everyone. Strength and agility +5 nodes from longsword, dual sword and spear are optional, as it depends what your weapon scales off of. If it scales off of agility, then strength nodes are irrelevant and there's no need to waste points on it. Weapons are upgraded to a maximum of +10 in the first playthrough, by going to the skill tree and activating these specific weapon nodes. To be able to activate these nodes, red feather items are required, which can be found throughout the world. Some feather tiers can also be purchased from a merchant. Important mechanic is madness. Checking the status screen, we can see how much madness is there at the moment. Important thresholds are 50% and 90%. Many passives from the skill tree offer boost when madness is above 50% and 90%. Outside of important information that can be found in the help section, which you should definitely read, important to note is that above 90% madness is best used when farming red mercury for quick levels. Increased damage taken while above 90% can be problematic in tough fights, so in order to remove madness, Shu Temple needs to be visited. Pray at the big statue and offer any of the gifts to clear the madness. Gifts can be bought at the merchant and found in the world. Another way to clear madness when above 90% is to die purposefully, which is going to spawn a demon at the place where you've died. Kill the demon to clear the madness. I suggest using this method after spending most of red mercury so that you don't lose it. Sometimes there might be need to get to high madness levels fast. There's an easy way to do it. Use invoke option at the shrine and get yourself whichever items you want. Each item increases madness because every item uses madness as currency. Use this option when wanting to get above 90% madness. Before we get into fighting stuff, there are a couple things to note which can be overlooked easily. First is Temperance. Once unlocked through story, it needs to be equipped in one of the item slots. Then use it to apply the chosen effect from tempering. Here's a tip that makes a lot of difference. When holding square on PlayStation gamepad or X on Xbox gamepad, all slotted items can be used by pressing a corresponding shortcut button. Same thing applies for spells. Hold triangle or epsilon to use shortcuts. Go to help screen and study combos for each weapon. Combos are connected to disciplines, so when discipline is used, it can be continued into a combo. They are easy to do. Armor transmogrification is easily done from the inventory screen. Press triangle or epsilon on top of the equipped armor piece and choose the altered version. Set bonuses. These are tied to specific benediction gems. By equipping 3 gems with the same icon displayed at its lower left, set bonus becomes active. Benediction gems can be found throughout the world. Now to talk about the most important thing about combat, which is Skyborn Might. Fancy name for a buff that occurs after perfectly dodging, completing combos and through some other means acquired from the skill tree upgrades. Skyborn Might is used to cast spells and to improve disciplines. Here's a tip on how to manage it much easier. Go to the skill tree and get biding time from one-handed sword tree. Then get unbroken focus. Now you have the best possible secondary weapon because Skyborn Might is going to be acquired over time automatically, which helps tremendously in clearing stages because starting the fight with powerful disciplines and spells makes a huge difference. Walk around with one-handed sword and then switch to primary weapon before the fight. After the fight, switch back to one-handed sword again. Or if advanced builds are what you're after, Swift Draw upgrade in the skill tree enhances switching weapons mid-combo. There are special combat mechanics like Clash and Deflect. Long swords can deflect and dual blades can clash. Very useful mechanics that only work if enemy wields a weapon. If boss or any other enemy is unarmed, it won't work, so don't get disheartened in that case. It's intentional that it doesn't work in some cases. Last tip is how to do stealth kills. Approach turned enemies slowly from behind and either attack with charged heavy attack or use Echo of Dutanga spell if using one-handed sword method to gain Skyborn Might over time. And that will break poise of most enemies instantly, giving the player obliterate option. That would be all. These tips should make the game easier. Patreon subscribes our merch in the description if that interests you, and thanks for watching.